Hi everyone, I'm Nick Curtis, the Art Toy Advocate, and you might be wondering what an Amanda Fissell painting is doing on the box to the newest Course release. It's because the duo behind Course, artists Mark Landwehr and Sven Bosch, partnered with Fissell to create this Last Days of Autumn sculpture. But this isn't the first time the trio have worked together. Course and Fissell debuted Last Days of Autumn at the 2014 Stroke Art Fair in Munich, Germany. The version shown then, with more traditional tree coloration, was a one-of-a-kind hand-painted resin piece. Later that year, at the Bloom Art Fair in Cologne, they revealed two more collaborative creations, First Days of Despair and Last Days of Winter. These 14-inch tall works were similarly unique sculptures, though The Last Days of Winter did return in 2015 with two half-size, very limited reinterpretations. You may have noticed that all these were conceptually linked, having shared thematic elements that denote a struggle between mankind and nature. This aspect is key to the tale behind this piece, one that is reprinted on the underside of the beautiful box's lid in typical Course fashion. Through the fable-like story, we're introduced to the components in the Last Days of Autumn set. The old log, the lone survivor of a once lush forest, and the boys and girls who are tasked with finding firewood so their village might survive the forthcoming winter. Like a fine art interpretation of a vintage cartoon, the 11.5-inch tall old log is wonderfully executed, with perfectly positioned outgrowths and tactilely pleasing grooved bark. The figure's palpable sadness is accentuated by these excised elements, each of which is provided as a display extra, ones that can be placed around the figure or even slotted back into place on its body. As you might note from the overhead view, all the rings on the tree trunk are painted rather than sculpted, which gives a beautiful contrast to the bark's feel. And right here, there's an inset magnet on the top, one which allows for any of the children to be removed from their acrylic base and affixed securely on the old log. The two boy and two girl characters each have their own unique pose, proudly holding aloft their removable axe accessories. With each child figure standing between 4.5 and 6 inches tall, I really love the thought that went into presenting their individual identities, such as her blissfully closed eyes, lost in a moment of ecstatic joy, and his wide-eyed, toothy grin, happiness beaming forth. All the while, the four retain a familial feel through their shared golden locks and similar bedtime attire, nightgowns for the gals and drop seat pajamas for the guys. Looking at the whole set, not only does it powerfully explore mankind's exploitation of nature, but it really balances Corse's sculptural creativity and Vaissell's artistic aesthetic. Back when I reviewed Vaissell's Farrell's figure line from Kidrobot, I touted the manner in which her brush-applied feel was emulated, and it is even more pristinely captured here. The colors having a more subtle, hand-painted interplay rather than a machine-like spot application appearance. Though none of these individual pieces have articulation, meaning that they are true final sculptures, the sheer number of parts in this diorama set, including these fallen leaf pieces, really provide you with a near infinite number of choices, allowing you to curate the work's appearance in your display space. This cold-colored version, showing the impact of an early frost, is titled the Shiver Edition and was limited to 234 sets. There was also a more traditional autumn-hued version, the Frenzy Edition, which was limited to 345 sets. While these all sold out, it's possible that not only will a new version be offered in the future, but that both First Days of Despair and Last Days of Winter might make the transition to sculptural vinyl works of art as well. Thank you for watching me, Nick Curtis, the Art Toy Advocate. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know your thoughts on Corse and Amanda Vaissell's Last Days of Autumn by commenting below, as well as liking or disliking this video on YouTube. And please remember to subscribe to the CoArt YouTube channel to be kept up to date on my reviews.